All right, what's up? Good morning. Happy Sunday, Heathens. How y'all feeling? Hope all is well. Hope you're starting your day with ease, okay, and alignment. I am Sheena Butler, aka Sister Roots, aka your favorite root worker, aka your leading heathen, the Reverend Heathen, Sheena Butler, and we are back for another episode of Sunday School for Heathens. Welcome in to the church. Okay. Um, any church announcements today? So, again, thank you all for all of the support. Thank you for the watch hours going up, for the likes, the shares, and the subscriptions. Okay. We greatly appreciate it. We greatly appreciate your contribution to the heathen movement. Okay. Let's see, any church announcements. I do have, I don't know, like I said, if you guys follow me from TikTok or from social media, then you know I have a community for Black women that helps with empowerment and alignment and shadow work and getting on down to the ugliness. Okay, and then coming on up out of that. And that is located on the school app. We are the Underground Urban Collective, the UUC, as we so lovingly call it. So I just dropped my membership down to $10 a month, and it is a learning platform. There are self-paced courses set up for you to explore all of the areas of the journey from becoming a wounded feminine to an empowered feminine. So if you follow me on social media, the link is in my bio on Facebook and on TikTok. It's pinned at the top of my profile, okay? And then let's see, any other announcements? Oh, I do have a class coming up called Working the Earth, where it is an intro to root working, conjure, and the ability to harness your own power, okay? How to wield and responsibly yield your own power. And so it teaches about the journey, the beginning journey for those who are getting into spirituality and connection with self. So that will be on July 11th. It is 111. It's $111. It's a 3-hour Zoom. You're going to get a workbook with it and a free playback so that you can go back and refreshen whenever you need to. Again, I do not call myself a subscriber to any organized religion because I believe we can take a little bit from everyone, okay? And we all just telling the same stories with different characters, different settings, different slices in time. But at the end of the day, we're all here as spiritual beings just having a human experience with the intent to evolve the soul. So that is available. You can reach out to info@sisterroots.com if you're interested in getting a payment link for that. We appreciate you. And again, if you ever feel so called to want to donate, a little love offering, tithes offering, and sacrificial giving to the Heathen Ministry, you can always do so by donating at $SISTAROOTZ. $Sister Roots. We appreciate you. This is not me soliciting, because you know how y'all get. All right, let's go and get into it. Today's lesson is another favorite, Samson and Delilah. Woo! Tale as old as time. Men losing it all to a rag and a Okay, so we're going to talk about it, all right? So, here we talk about the traditional interpretations, and then we give the metaphysical / esoteric interpretation of that story, where we taking a Bible story and I'm showing you in the Bible, in the story, how it applies. Not just what it was given to you on that Sunday morning long time ago for all of us retired saints and current heathens. Okay. All right. So let's see. The story of Samson and Delilah speaks to strength, temptation, and spiritual, and the misuse, the not being a good steward of spiritual power. Oh, baby, how long, how many times have you given away your power? Okay, and learn and reap the consequences. This one right here, I'm telling you, this one right here, If you can't say amen, a woman, say ouch, god damn it, because we on some toes, okay? But we gonna get this lesson. Like my grandma used to say, did y'all get y'all lesson? Shout out to my grandma, fly high tut. I hope you're somewhere having a blast, baby. Come on, get this lesson, okay? So the introduction, primary scripture for this particular story is Judges chapters 13 through 16, okay? Took 3 chapters to take his ass down. All right. The central theme is the story of Samson and Delilah is often remembered as a tale of great strength and tragic betrayal. Because I remember the first time I heard it. Y'all remember the first time y'all heard this story of Samson and Delilah? I thought, this is a low down heifer. But more than anything, Samson, what is your problem? Okay, where is your antennas? Okay, you don't see this that's trying to get you? But we're going to get there. You know, I didn't understand it. I was like, he a little slow. He a little slow. But then I lived long enough and realized he wasn't slow. He's just a man. Arrogant. Okay, amen. Okay. At its core, it is a story about divine calling, spiritual gifts, temptation, compromise, consequences, and redemption. Okay. The key question is, how can someone chosen and empowered by God lose sight of their purpose? Okay, it's going to be a little bit of a drag. I feel it. I feel a drag in my spirit. Okay, you know, in the community right now, we reading Spiritual Hygiene by the mother Iyanla Van Zant. Okay, I got it right here. And baby, when I tell you she dragging your ass for filth in there, okay? For filth. But I feel a drag in my spirit. Okay, so just remember, it's not me, it's what the papers say. All right, so if you feeling some type of way, it ain't on me, it's the papers. Okay, all right. So the overview is Samson is born with divine purpose. We know that, right? Set aside supernatural strength. He's chosen before birth. He's consecrated as a Nazirite, and he's given extraordinary strength by God. Okay. Throughout his life, he defeats Israel's enemies all over, whooping ass. He's doing all kinds of stuff. Now, let me tell you something. If you ever get a little time, you know, go and read that story of Samson. Samson had some wild shit going on. And let me say this. Samson got a bad rep for his temper, you know, and his means of getting his lick back. But they provoked him a lot. You know, I identify with Samson. Damn it. I really do. You know, because Samson was just trying to live his life. And people was playing with him. All because they knew he was different. All because they knew he was gifted. He was favored. He wasn't doing nothing. He wasn't doing nothing. But it shows how your gifts can draw that hate. Okay? Your gifts can draw that envy. Your gifts can draw that betrayal because, baby, people see you long before you see you. All right? Eventually, he falls in love with Delilah. Samson had a problem with women, too. All right? Now, let's call a spade a spade. Samson was a hoe. Okay? But, you know, Samson, he liked the prostitute. He was paying for it. Paying for the coochie. Baby, they was paying for biblical coochie. Okay? I wonder how much it was. Because, you know, like, was it the funky 40? Back then, how much was the biblical coochie? We know how much the modern day coochie is, okay? But the biblical coochie, I just, you know, how the currency. If anybody find out, let me know, okay? The Philistines bribed Delilah to discover the secret of his strength. Because what better way than to go through your bitch, right? Okay? After repeated attempts, so the Philistines bribed Delilah to discover the secret of his strength. After repeated attempts, he's going to tell the secret. All right? So let's look at the traditional view. Let's look at it. So Samson's divine calling, what happens before Samson is born? All right? An angel announces his birth. Listen up. We got something special coming in. This one here that's getting ready to come through, yeah, he's going to be different. He's going to be different. All right? He is dedicated to God, to Yahweh. as a Nazarite. He dedicated to God because we know Yahweh he love a good soldier. He love a good hitter. All right. So here we go. We got this big ass who just, he gonna come through supernatural strength. I like that. Yahweh like, yeah, I like that. I like that. I appreciate that. I like that. They giving good offerings today, good dedications today. I like that. Okay. And his life is set apart for a divine purpose. Excuse me. Traditional meaning, Samson is chosen by God to deliver Israel from Philistine oppression. Okay. Now, here we go. Because y'all know Yahweh like to send folks to do his stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, he don't like to get his hands dirty like that. You know, he don't really get in the field. You know what I'm saying? Like, maybe he did enough war banging before he got appointed. You know, he earned it, so he don't really have to bang like he used to. So now he just, he sent his hitters. He ain't got to do it no more. He ain't got to be the street. He ain't the street runner no more. Okay, he didn't moved up on the chain. So now he calling the shots. He sending the little hitters out. He got the corner boys and all of that. Okay, so Samson gonna be a corner boy. All right, to deliver Israel, because yet again Israel in some shit. They in captivity. Because Yahweh, I guess that's the way he like, y'all ain't listening. Bam, y'all going into captivity. Send who ain't got no slaves right now? Micah. Michael, who ain't got no slaves right now? The Amalekite, all right, so it's the Philistines. Go on send the Philistines to go get them. Go on mess with them. Cause I'm tired. They don't listen. I'm tired. They better do it. You would rather me send the Philistines than wipe this motherfucker again, okay? Because y'all know he'll murk in a minute. We'll get a holy murk in a minute, a righteous murk in a minute, okay? So this time Samson is going to do it. So the key principle is God often calls individuals before they recognize their purpose. They like that. Before you were in your mother's womb, I knew thee. I know the number of hairs on your head. That right there. That one right there, when they used to say that one, I used to be like, damn, you know how much hair I got on my head? Like every strand. And I remember one night, Baby, I remember one night I tried to sit and count my hair. I think I was like 12, 11 or 12. String by string, I said, oh, no, you got to be God, because I can't do this shit. That's all it required. Man, I took that first little piece because I always had hair. I always had a lot of hair on my head. Baby, listen, I took that first little corner down up and down. I said, yeah, nah, you got it. You got it, Big G. If he can sit and count all of these hairs, he divine. Okay, whatever. So let's look at the Nazarite vow requirements. The vow, the promise that was made when Samson was dedicated to Yahweh, because Yahweh loves some good terms and conditions, okay? So we're going to look at the terms and the conditions of this agreement, this arrangement, this covenant, this promise, this vow, right? The requirements, Samson can't drink no wine. He can't have no liquor, all right? He can't touch a dead body, and he can never cut his hair, all right? So no liquor, no corpses, no haircuts. We got that. All right? Traditional meaning, these outward signs symbolize complete dedication to God. Okay? So this lays we have a recurrent theme in the Bible of covenant and signs of covenant. Because, Yahweh need to know is you for me? Is you for me? So it can go anywhere from cutting the penises. Baby, listen, the way they got on my ass last week about circumcision, the way they came for me last week about circumcision, and now they coming at me now for the minister. Only thing I did was post a video of the minister. That's the only thing I did, baby. The Muslims came for my ass yesterday, okay? The black women, what you call them? Is it Muslima? I think that's a beautiful word. First time I saw that, if I'm saying it right. Muslima. I don't know, but that's a beautiful word. But yeah, girl. Yeah, baby. Them heifers came for me yesterday, okay? But anyway, so, but this is where we get into outward signs of covenant. I mean, like I said, Yahweh love a good covenant, and he loves some symbols. So with this particular one, the covenant was you can't cut your hair. So his long hair. So, and that's what I was gonna say. So when you get into certain religions or when you get into certain ideologies that not cutting your hair is a sign of a covenant with God, that's why you'll see that in certain religions. That's why certain religions women can't cut their hair. Well, nah, let me take that back because I ain't got nothing to do with it. Women don't cut their hair in religion because of men. Simple as that. That whole your hair is your crown and your glory. That's why so many women scared to cut their hair. So many women are scared to do a short, like they can't. When I see women sitting in the sitting in the chair and they be cutting their hair and they be doing all that crying, baby, that should be getting on my nerves so bad. Girl, you knew you was coming to get a haircut when you came. What is you crying for? It's just hair. It is literally just hair, but what I had to realize, what I've come to realize is so many women only value themselves based on how pretty they feel, how beautiful they feel. You know what I'm saying? Like some women want to when you scroll through the comments of a video about a woman who's cutting all of her hair off or something like that, or she's having to lose her hair. She's losing her hair, and there's all of this emotion. One of the recurrent themes that you'll see in the comment section is women saying how ugly they would feel, or they don't have the face for that, or they don't have the shit. Like, it's your face, babe. Like, it's your head. Like, who told us? When did this start? Like, when did it require a certain face? Like, when did it require a certain head? You know? Like, I think it's crazy when you really sit and think about how far gone we are. But to come back to my original point, I think it's very sad that women tie their worth to their beauty, but that's by design. It's by design. You know what I'm saying? But sometimes a good haircut is what you need. Sometimes you need to get naked. I'm gonna tell you something. See, this right here, I had hair down my back, babes. Okay? This right here, babe, when I tell you this bald head got me in a nasty chokehold. You hear me? It is the most liberating. It is the most freeing. It is the most vulnerable. Let me tell you something. When I cut my hair off, I was terrified, but I needed it. I needed it. I needed it bad because hair holds energy. That's why the hair covenant thing is important. The energy. Hair holds energy. Hair holds the energy of everything that you've gone through. So you're seeing a lot of women cutting their hair now and combing out their locks and all of that. That's for a reason, because especially black women are going through a shadow work as a collective, whether we realize it or not. But so you're seeing a lot of women cutting their hair. That's not by coincidence at all. Combing out their locks, that's not by coincidence. It's an energy release that's happening. It's an energy release that's happening. That's why it's so important to let your hair air out, to just let your hair release that energy, saging your head, blessing your crown. That's important. But let me get back on topic. Anyway, all right, so listen. So God often calls holiness requires the key principle to Samson: drinking no wine, touching no dead body, never cutting his hair. It's the outward signs that symbolize complete dedication to God, right? The key principle here: holiness requires separation and obedience. Holiness! That's a word that I came to despise. I'm not going to lie. Because the way they took the term holiness and weaponized it, it's a shame. Let's look at Samson's strength. What happens? God empowers Samson with supernatural strength. It's my boy. He got me, so I'm going to give him this gift. All right? It's going to be my hitter. So Samson has supernatural strength. He defeats lions with his bare hands. Lions. Like Idris Elba on that movie. I didn't watch it because when they said Idris punched the lion, I said, I'm done. Okay, and I used to love me some Idris. But you ain't gonna, don't play him, you ain't that fine, Idris. So I can't, the shit still got to make sense. He fine, but he ain't punch a lion fine. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, so Samson was punching lions, right? Defeating whole armies by himself. I mean, he out there, getting it. All of that. Whole armies by himself. And Philistine warriors. The traditional meaning, his strength comes from God, not himself. The key principle here is every spiritual gift originates with God. Let's look at Delilah's betrayal. So Delilah comes and he meets Delilah, right? So listen, so in the chapter before he meets Delilah, Samson goes into a town to be, he gets into it with some Philistines. He goes into a town, he meets a prostitute. All right, he coming to get it in. And now this is what the Bible say. This is what the book say. You can fact check me. Matter of fact, let me read it for you. Give me a second. All right, listen up. This is what the Bible says. All right, we're looking at Judges 16, and this is the International Standard Version. Okay, plain English. So Judges 16, chapter 16, Samson has troubles in Gaza. So Samson is in Gaza. All right. Sometime later, Samson went to Gaza, saw a prostitute there, a pro, and went in to have sex with her. Okay. When the Gazites were informed, Samson has come. Okay, it says Samson has come here. They surrounded him, intending to lay in wait for him at the city gate throughout the entire night. So Samson got beef all over. We got the Gazites that want him, and then the Philistines too. Now I'm pretty sure, I know the Philistines and the Gazites probably all together some kind of way. You know what I'm saying? But I ain't going into all of that. If you want to know who begat and linked up and all that, you're going to do that on your own. I'm just here for the meat and potatoes, okay? So they kept quiet all night long, telling each other at first light, let's kill him. So they outside the gate while Samson with the pro, all right? He in there getting his ugly on. They out there waiting to tear that ass up, okay? It said, meanwhile, Samson has until midnight, baby. Samson was in there stroking that thing. Okay? Samson was in there getting it. Hit up with that flax, hit up with, listen, he in there stroking, okay, till midnight. Baby, that biblical culture must have been, listen, stamina. Bring back the days when the brothers had stamina, all right? Listen. Baby, it's been a minute. It's been a minute. You get it. Listen, you good if you get a strong 45 these days. That hypertension 10 days. Okay, so Samson in that stroke till midnight, okay? Then at midnight, he got up. It said he got up, grabbed the doors, the 2 doorposts, and the bars of the city gate and uprooted this. Listen, Samson climbed up out the coochie, back rejuvenated. You hear me? These dudes now, they finna take. Baby, they gonna give you 20 minutes, two thunder slams and a hard pump, and then they going to sleep for 10 hours. It's pathetic. Bring back the biblical stamina, okay? The Samson stam. That's what we need, the Samson stamina, all right? Bring it back. Bring back the biblical rock. That's all I'm saying. All right, y'all pay attention. Pay attention. We in church, okay? Samson got up. He went out, okay? He grabbed the doors, the two doorposts and the bars of the city gate and uprooted them. He put them on his shoulders and, and carried them to the top of a mountain. When I say I know Samson put that pro through the mattress. Baby, you done been in there stroking till midnight, came out there, ripped all that shit up, and then walked up a mountain. That Samson was dangerous. I don't care what nobody, listen. Baby, that's some Hancock rock. Okay, so all right, so this what happened before he met Delilah, okay? Next chapter, he meet Delilah, all right? He meet Delilah, and he falls in love. Because apparently Samson, he was a hard on his sleeve type nigga. Okay? So it says, after this incident, he loved the woman in Sorek Valley whose name was Delilah. The Philistines approached her and told her, entice him. Get that? I'm going to tell you where his strength come from. Why is his big ass? What is this big ass mama? What is he doing? Okay. They said, entice him to discover where his strength is and how we can overpower him. We intend to tie him up and torture him. My thing is, listen, and then again, you got to go to the backstory. Samson been beefing with these for like everywhere he go, he having to test some shit up, okay? But they constantly fucking with him too, okay? They said, we'll each pay you 1,100 silver coins. Because it's that almighty dollar. People don't let money. Oh, don't let money change you. Got to be careful. Got to be careful, okay? So Delilah asked Samson right off the rip, listen, she said, why? All of y'all gonna give me 1,100 a piece? Bet. Samson. Babe. Oh, babe. Baby. My king. Sugar. Love. I used to call my funk ass second husband love. Bastard. It's all good though, okay? She approached him right off the rip. All right, so when the Philistines bribed Delilah, she repeatedly pressured Samson to reveal the source of his strength. She approached Samson 3 times. Now, this is where I started saying he a little slow. But again, live long enough and you know they're not slow, they're just arrogant. Okay? So 3 times she comes to him. She said, listen, babe, I know you love me and you know I love you. But I need for you to tell me, why are you so strong, babe? Where your strength come from? And Samson, look. So, Samson, you nigga that like to play. So what'd he do? He lied to him. And he was like, oh, listen, if I get tied up with some bowstrings, 7 bowstrings, is I ain't gonna be able to do nothing. I ain't just gonna take all my strength. So she said, okay, cool. She immediately went and got some bowstrings. Like, she ain't even try and hide the shit. She didn't even try and hide it. It don't say Samson went to sleep. Excuse me. It says, if I'm tied up with 7 bowstrings that have never been dried out, then I'll become weak and just like any other human being. Then the Philistine leaders brought her 7 bowstrings that had never been dried, and she tied them up off the rip. He ain't even pay attention. Like, damn, bitch, where you get? It didn't say he was asleep. It didn't say nothing. It said she got it from the Philistines. She came in and tied him up. That didn't raise no flags, my boy. Like, bitch, where you get this? Huh. And he let her tie him up. And then she said, Samson, the Philistines. Like, they just come in out the next room. Samson get up, break the bowstrings, tear ass, bam, it's over with. And don't question her. You don't find that suspicious. Don't say none of that. Okay. Sometime later, Delilah told Samson, look here. You've been mocking me and lying to me. Now, please tell me, where does your strength come from? How can you be defeated? And see, this is my thing. It's not so much that she's asking, where does the strength come from? That's cool. We can say that because strength comes from God. Yeah, that's what he could have said. Well, babe, I was dedicated to, Yahweh as a Nazarite and all that, so he blessed me with strength. That right there, that's cool. There ain't no problem. But she's specifically asking, how can your strength be taken? And he don't find no problem. He don't find nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong. She comes back a second time. She says, listen, you playing with me. Now, you said you love me, okay? And I told you I love you. I need to know how your strength can be taken. And so what does he do? He lies again. He says, if I'm tied up with fresh ropes, brand new ropes, I ain't gonna be able to do nothing with it. It's gonna weaken me. Immediately, she go tell them, they give her the ropes. She come back and tie him up. He ain't sleep. She ties him up. Bam, somebody in the house. Samson, they in here. He snaps the rope, tears some ass, and go back to it. Don't raise no questions. The Bible don't say they argued. The Bible don't say he accused her. The Bible don't say he questioned her. None of that. That's it. They go back to normal. Y'all telling me these the leaders? Which is also why I don't understand women being in abusive relationships and not doing what you need to do to go and get up out of that, okay? Because listen, it's easy. YouTube, this is for entertainment purposes only. Okay, you see how easy they can get got. All right, so listen. Then they said, so Delilah grabbed the new ropes, tied them up. They come in, breaks the ropes. All right. Later on, it don't even say months down the line. Later on, this bitch is persistent. Do you understand me? And she reminds me of my ex-husband, my second ex-husband, because that's it. He was he went to school for business. He was, he had all kinds of shit under his belt, that shiesty ass belt. Okay. And so he said something, it's a principle that if you ask somebody something 7 times, they'll say yes. So just keep going. Ask them. If you ask them 7 times, it's almost guaranteed that by time number 7, you'll get what you want. If they don't block you. They don't cut you off completely. They keep you in your life. You ask them something 7 times, 9 times out of 10, you're going to get it, right? 7 times out of 7, you're going to get it according to that. So later on, after the second attack, she comes in there hot. The attitude didn't make you raise your eyebrow, Samson? We on the second attack, my boy. Everything that you're telling her, she's constantly going, playing in your face, okay? So she says, how can you keep saying I love you when your heart isn't with me? These 3 times you've lied to me. Oh, no. This is before. So after the second attack, she comes to him and she says, you're still mocking me and telling me lies. Tell me how to get you caught up. Tell me how your strength can be taken. Tell me how you can be subdued. And she means it. She's upset. Okay? What does he do? He lies again, because that's what men do. They don't care if you're upset. They don't care if you're talking about how much you say you love me, you mocking me, you making a fool out of me. Why are you doing this to me? Why you keep cheating with it? Why do you... They don't care. They're going to keep lying. Okay? So on part, he delivers her another lie. He says, all right, cool. If you weave my hair up in a loom, because Samson had 7 locks. It tells me this was a black man. I told you in my Bible, in the Bible in my head, all of the characters are black. Okay, so Samson had 7 locks, some wicks. We're talking Lil Wayne here. 7 locks. That's it. That's it. 7 locks. All right. Well, man, possibly some wicks. That's what I can see. Some wicks if he's only got 7. All right, because we're gonna make everybody fine up in here. We're gonna make all of the stories gonna be fine. Okay, all of the Bible characters gonna be fine. So we talking we talking Samson probably like 6'9", all right, 7 wicks, dark skin, because I got a thing for dark skin. Real bad. Okay. Dark skin, 8-pack. Bow leg. All right, I'm giving it to you, women. I'm giving it to you. I'm giving you the visual, okay? Bow-legged. And we know he got a tripod and he putting him through the mattress. So listen, I think it's safe to say if you follow me on social media, Samson is an EF5, okay? We're going for it, all right? Samson is an EF5. So he says, weave my locks up in a loom and fasten it with a peg. Then I will become weak and just like any other human being, any other nigga. Okay? So Delilah took the 7 locks on his head and wove them into a loom. Now, this time he sleep. Okay? She fastened his hair with the peg and told him, the Philistines are attacking you, Samson. But he woke up from the nap, pulled the pin from the loom and the weaving, and proceeded to tell halves. Okay? And even still, it does not say that he questioned her. It does not say that he accused her. It does not say that he was upset. None of that. Sometime later, okay, we don't know what sometime is, but now it says sometime later, so maybe she waited a little bit. Okay, maybe she was scared he was getting a little suspicious. Sometime later, she asked him, how can you keep saying I love you when your heart isn't with me? She playing on them heartstrings now. Okay? These 3 times you have lied to me and haven't told me where your great strength lies. She nagged him every day with this speech, pestering him until he was annoyed nearly to death. That's what your Bible says. That this bitch spent every day constantly asking him, where do you get your strength? How can I take it? How can you be disarmed? Every day she annoyed him constantly. You mean to tell me he didn't get that bitch out of his house? That means she had some good coochie. I don't know if it was the coochie or the top. She either had some 5 top, some 5 reverse cowgirl, something. But she was putting that thing on Samson. Okay, because listen, the Bible never said that Delilah was fine. Never. Never said that Delilah looked good, nothing. But we know. The Bible make it a point to tell you when a woman is a bad bitch, okay? It does. The Bible gonna make it a point to point out that's how we know Bathsheba was a bad bitch, okay? David went out there and said, oh, I got to get her, all right? Bible ain't never said that about Delilah. Never said it. So I'm gonna assume that Delilah knew how to work that thing and work that throat. Okay, that's all I'm saying. Because you mean to tell me he ain't never questioned it? Never? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay? When Delilah realized, so he finally disclosed everything to her. He told her, a razor has never touched my head because I've been a Nazarite for God before I was born. If I am shaved, then my strength will abandon me and I will become weak like every human being. And when Delilah realized that he had disclosed everything to her. She sent for the Philistine officials and told them, hurry up and come here at once because he has told me everything. That's a raggedy bitch. You ain't even like, and we all know a woman like Delilah. We all know a woman like Delilah. Some of you is a woman like Delilah, but I ain't gonna say nothing. Because we don't judge here at the House of Heathens Missionary Baptist, okay? Okay? Get what you need. So, the Philistine officials went to her and brought their money with them, baby. Delilah said, run me my motherfucking coins, bitch. Give me my duckies. Okay? They ran her money. So she enticed him to fall asleep on her lap. She got to, come on. She ain't entice him. She put him to sleep. Baby, the Bible be thinking it's slick. The Bible be thinking it's slick, and we reading some raunchy shit, you hear me? So Delilah went in there, and there was she there. She put that hand upon it down, and she put his ass to sleep. Okay? She put him to sleep, head in her lap. And then she had somebody come in and cut his hair, cut his locks off. Low down. Don't give a damn because she got her money. So she enticed him to fall asleep on her lap, called for a man to shave off his 7 locks of hair from his head, and so began to humiliate him. That humiliation ritual. Put a pin down, baby, because we're going to get to it, okay? Then his strength abandoned him. And the last verse says, when she cried out, the Philistines are attacking you, Samson. He woke up from his sleep and told himself, I'm good, let's go. I'll go out like I did at other times like this and shake myself free. But he didn't know that the Lord had abandoned him. Now, this is my thing. And I get it. Because, you know, to me, though, if this your hitter, Yahweh, if this your hitter and you see that your hitter ain't too bright, you mean tell me you watching all this shit play out, you ain't sent an angel, you ain't sent nothing, you ain't sent a little dust storm or something to blow her ass out of there? Like, what are you doing? Why you ain't protecting? Why you not protecting your investment, Big G? So the Lord had left him. Yahweh said, listen, you gonna let this bitch get you? I gotta go. That's how it happened. That's how it is in the streets. That's how, listen, you on your own. You let that bitch get you. That's on to the next. Now you got to go find somebody else because you wasn't on your post, my boy. Okay. Delilah represents temptation and betrayal. That's the traditional meaning. Key principle is persistent compromise weakens spiritual discernment. Now, I'm going to say Samson ain't had no damn discernment, clearly. Okay? Clearly. So what happens? His hair is cut, the spirit departs, his enemy captures him. Because when he got up and he tried to fight, he was like, oh, shit. Weak. They got him, just like that. And I know and when he realized that his hair had been cut, listen, baby. Ooh, I can only imagine when he realized that his strength was gone and his hair was cut. I know he looked right at that raggedy man and said, I know you fucking lying to me. It's too late. So let me tell you something, baby, just like that, you can get God. It's just like that. And I ain't even going to say just like that because you had warnings. You had your chance, boy. You could have been dipped. You could have been got that bitch from around you. But you didn't because what do? We ignored them. Listen, I told this one gonna trigger me a little bit. This one gonna trigger me a little bit. Cause ain't nothing like. Now I'm gonna say this though. When it comes to, I personally relate to this story because of how I got by my second ex, right? It ain't nothing like turning around and realizing that you've been sleeping with the enemy. Like, motherfucker, that's getting you is the one that's got you. Listen, it ain't nothing like it. That's why I say I can only imagine how he felt. I mean, I can't. I can imagine, but I'm saying when I say I know how he felt, I know he had to have looked at that bitch and been like, "Oh, you dirty." Yes, right. So they capture him, and what do they do? They got him locked up. It's bad enough. Listen, when I say people will add insult to injury. When I say people will do you so damn dirty, they had him captured. His hair was cut. He was weak. They got him. They got what they wanted. And what do? They take it a step further and gouge his eyes out. They blind him. That's some low down shit. You mean to tell me y'all got me? I'm weak. You could have kept cutting my hair. Like, that could have just been it. You could have just shaved me every week, and just kept me a prisoner. But you gonna gouge my eyes out? Like, why? Why? What was the need? What was the reason? Like Cardi B said, what was the reason? Why? Why did you have to take it that far? And it just goes to show you that you can choose your action. Like I told my children, I tell everybody, tell myself, you can choose your actions, but you can't choose your consequences, baby. Traditional meaning, disobedience produces spiritual consequences. His eyes are removed and he becomes a prisoner. Disobedience produces spiritual consequences. Key principle here is when we abandon God's calling, we lose spiritual effectiveness. You're out of the will of God. That's what they like to say. Samson's redemption, what happens? While he's in prison, Samson repents. I'm sick of this. I'm tired. I should have never let that bitch in my life. You know how it go. Okay, so he repents. And then his hair begins to grow again. And as his hair grows, God is restoring his strength. Now, mind you, God could have stepped in a long time ago, but we ain't gonna talk about that. Okay? Traditional meaning, God's mercy remains available even after failure. That's what they tell you. You get one more. The blood still works. Redemption is always possible with repent and be saved. Key principle, repentance restores relationship with God. Final victory. What happens? Samson destroys the Philistine temple. So while he's in jail, right? While he's in prison and he's blind. And, he's examined all of the measures of his life and his decisions. And he's accepted it. So while he's in prison, being ridiculed, being tortured, being tormented, and blind. So one day they're having a party at the Philistine palace. And they said, somebody go get Samson. Baby, when I tell you the humiliation ritual don't stop, it don't stop. That when I tell you they'll see it through, you got him in prison. He's blind. And now you're going to make him dance for you? You're going to make him entertain you? Y'all going to call him out for shits and giggles? You're going to marvel and find humor in his suffering? Because that's what people want when you're gifted. They want your ass humbled, blinded, bound, contained. My ex-husband told me I needed to be humbled. because I ain't want your ass no more. I needed to be humbled. So they go get the little boy go get, they send a little servant to go get Samson. So Samson is being led out. And I remember I had a little picture Bible when I was young. And them damn Bible stories are traumatizing as a child, because I remember in my picture Bible, they show Samson coming, he's being led out. And his eyes, he got a little piece of cloth around his eyes because it's been gouged out, and the cloth looked a little dirty, a little nasty, like it had some dry blood and stuff on it. And so as the little boy is leading Samson out, Samson said, listen, put my hands up against the pillars. Like, let me touch both sides of the, prop me up, my boy. So the little boy helped him. Samson prayed one more time. He said, Big G, I know we done been through some things. I know I done fucked up. I know I done done a lot of dumb shit. But give me an opportunity to make it right. Give me an opportunity to get my justice. Because I ain't deserved this. Yeah, I love the wrong bitch. We done all been there, players. Cup. I let the wrong one in, damn it. But don't let me go out like this. Don't let this be it. Don't let this be it. I served you. I was faithful. God heard his prayer. He said, I'm gonna fuck with you. I'm gonna fuck with you, my boy. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. And Samson prayed, and God restored that mighty strength one last time. Because see, here, they finna church you now. They finna church you. Now, if you got a good preacher, he finna church you. He finna work you. Okay? Because now, if he's good, he gonna remind you of all the times that your strength got restored. When you was feeling defeated, when you was feeling low. Listen, they gonna dance you. But he gonna work you good. Okay? Get you all hyped up. Because you gonna get to remembering all them times where you felt like you wasn't gonna make it. Okay? So he restores it. Samson pushes the pillars and collapses the whole temple, palace, whatever they in. And he is taken out. He takes out the Philistines and himself. And it is said that day, that great victory, Samson took more lives that day in his expiration than he did in his time that he was alive. And that's the story, because even in death, gotta do it. Bam. Now we get to the happy feet, working, the shouting, all that leading up to the offering. So let's look at this in the metaphysical term. Now that you've been churched, Samson is a historical judge whose strength came from God and whose downfall resulted from disobedience. The metaphysical perspective, the deeper question becomes, what if Samson represents the spiritual power within every person? Because we all have powers. We are imbued with the same divine intelligence, the same creative power, the same God source spirit energy, the same divine intelligence and consciousness and awareness that is the all. We are all animated by it. We all got power. What you do with that power determines how you get through this thing called life. So rather than focusing only on physical strength, the metaphysical interpretation explores how consciousness gains, loses, and restores spiritual power. This story becomes an allegory of the soul. Okay, now what is an allegory? Because listen, if you hear the allegory of the cave, hey Siri, what is the definition of allegory? An allegory is a story, a poem, or a picture that can be interpreted to reveal a hidden meaning, typically a moral or political one. Okay, so this again, because we showing you that's what metaphysical is, the hidden meaning, the esoteric knowledge, that's only for only a small amount of people gonna get it, right? This is beyond the physical meaning. So on the metaphysical side, esoteric interpretation, Samson represents divine potential that we all have. See, that's why when you look at the term chosen one, like I feel like people view that in the wrong way. We're all called. We all have divine potential. You choose to answer. You choose to live up to your divine potential. That is a chosen one. You're not chosen because you're set aside. You're chosen because you choose yourself. You choose to live to your fullest potential, your highest potential, your divine self, your divine potential, right? So Samson symbolizes spiritual power, divine purpose, higher consciousness, and inner strength. Metaphysical meaning, Samson represents the spiritual potential that exists within every individual. The key principle here is true strength originates from alignment with the divine, alignment with the divine intelligence, alignment with God, alignment with your highest self. Alignment is everything. And intention is all there is. All right? And if that don't make sense, keep living. All right? The Nazirite vow, the vow that Samson took, the vow that was the covenant that was made, represents spiritual discipline. It symbolizes self-mastery. My favorite term. My favorite term. I love the concept of self-mastery, even though it is the hardest thing that I've ever done. And it is what keeps me going, what keeps me motivated. The mastery of self. Okay? Inner purity. And when we say inner purity, we're not talking about like purity culture within the church. We're talking about being pure at heart. You know what I'm saying? Like being pure in the mind. And when we say pure, I'm talking about unadulterated. You know what I'm saying? Like not caught up in the bush and not buying into the program. And that's what it is to be pure and to have inner purity. To let that slate be clean, you know what I'm saying? To let that canvas be clean, to keep that temple clean, not clogging it up with all kinds of bad food, like being careful being mindful of what you ingest. And remember, ingesting is not just what we physically eat. It's what we look at, what we listen to, what we think about, what we read, what we accept, what we agree to, what we allow to exist in our reality, in our space, okay? Conscious living and spiritual commitment. Metaphysical meaning, the vow represents maintaining alignment with higher consciousness through discipline and integrity. And here is where I'm going to say, ouch, because my discipline has been off. My discipline has been off. And and you know what? I won't even say, I ain't going to say it's been off. I'm going to say it. Baby, listen. These last 2 weeks have been something, and it caught me out the blue. It caught me out the blue with the way that I've been processing. But again, that's how I know I'm close. I know I'm close to a breakthrough because I'm so uncomfortable. I'm so uncomfortable, but it's all good. I'm okay. I am okay. I may be uncomfortable, but I am okay. All right. Spiritual power is sustained through consistent inner alignment. The whole thing is to remind yourself to not penalize yourself, give yourself grace, hold yourself to a standard, be accountable. Okay. I know when I'm being raggedy, I know where I'm being raggedy. And I have to be honest about that. We have to start being honest with ourselves and being accountable. Remember, self-mastery, the road to self-mastery is radical accountability. This can't be on anybody else but you. You are at the forefront all the time, okay? Samson's hair represents a spiritual connection. Now, again, we're talking about the metaphysical, okay? But again, when we spoke about people who don't cut their hair based on, I think the Rastas don't cut their hair. and I'm talking about the men here. The Rastas don't cut their hair. It's the Jews. Is it the Orthodox Jews who don't cut their hair? And they be having the little bun. You know what I'm talking about? I don't know. Somebody correct me in the comments. So just let me know. Let me know if you know other religious organizations or other lifestyles that vow not to cut their hair as a sign of a covenant from God. But it symbolizes consecration, spiritual vitality, and connection with the divine source. Okay. And again, this is metaphysical. We're not talking about the physical. Now, while there are some people because when the black folks, when you get in the spiritual community, in the holistic community, they start telling you your hair is an antenna. You know what I'm saying? If you bleaching your hair, because if you bleaching your hair, if you're wearing weave, you can't get your downloads, your connection to the sun. Let me tell you something. My bald head, blonde heads, baby, listen, the downloads be downloading. You hear me? It don't. Your crown is your connection, not your hair. Okay? Hair can be a transmitter. Hair is a beautiful thing, especially for us. But don't ever let anybody lead you to think that you are not the channel. And don't ever let anybody make you think that's an accessory, because hair is an accessory. Okay, don't ever let nobody make you think that an ancillary part of you, that something has to be a certain way for you to connect. Don't let nobody put that on you. Okay, this is your life. This is your walk. This is your path. And what your soul chooses to resonate with, what your body resonates with, you have to do what's for you. That's why I tell people ask a lot of questions when they start getting on these journeys, but the most important part is to listen to you. What resonates with you? What do you feel? What do you want? What is appealing and appeasing to you? Because that is all that this is about. Okay, so the hair symbolizes, again, consecration, spiritual vitality, and connection with divine source. Metaphysical meaning, hair is not magical. Okay, it symbolizes the visible expression of an invisible covenant. The cutting of Samson's hair represents losing connection with one spiritual center. That's all it is. The hair is just a symbol of a spiritual connection. And him cutting the hair was the severing of the spiritual connection from self, from your highest self, from the divine. Okay? That it symbolizes being out of alignment because the connection has been severed. Okay? Key principle: power is lost when consciousness becomes disconnected from its source. When you take your consciousness, when you take your intention and attention, your power, and you focus it on something else, or you sever it, you give it away. Okay? All right, let's see. Delilah. That old funky alpha. Delilah represents temptation and lower consciousness. She symbolizes seduction, distraction, and let me put something right here: seduction, distraction, and self-gratification, immediate gratification. Because that's a thing. That is a thing. Wanting what you want right now, wanting it now. Like they say, Lord, give me patience and give it to me now. Look, okay, material attachment and ego desires. The lower self, the lower consciousness, the lower chakras, the lower aspects of you, the undisciplined aspects of you, the parts of you that are not under self-mastery, the parts of you that are not controlled. Your raggedy ass self. That's what Delilah represents, okay? Metaphysical meaning, Delilah represents anything that pulls consciousness away from its higher purpose. And this may include ego, pride. Pride is a hell of a thing. pleasures, guilty pleasures, indulgences, things you don't want to give up, you don't want to back away from, but you know that they're stagnating you. Things and people. Okay. Fear, because fear is a funky bunch. Fear should be at the top of this list. Attachment, the resistance to release, and external validation. Okay. Key principle. Not every temptation appears harmful. Many distractions arrive disguised as comfort, love, or opportunity. Remember, that comfort zone ain't your friend. Don't nothing happen in that comfort zone. Distractions come in love, but listen, baby, I love you. I don't want you to go out there and get hurt. I don't want you to go out there and not make it. And whole time, it ain't got nothing to do with you. They just scared of losing you. So they gonna hold you back under the guise of love. Well, if you love me, I need you right now. I need you to be here for me. Well, what about the family? Well, what about this? Or sometimes it's an opportunity to go in the direction that you know you're not supposed to go in. Like when there's an opportunity for money or purpose. When there's an opportunity for instant gratification or a very profound level of knowledge, you know what I'm saying? Like that's opportunity. They say when opportunity knocks, you better answer. But I done lived long enough. I done been on this rock long enough to know that you don't want every opportunity that you get. You don't. But you have to know you to know which opportunities are actually for you. Because sometimes we take opportunities and we find out that they weren't actually opportunities. Well, let me not say that. They were opportunities, but they were opportunities for your ass to learn the lesson. That you would have not otherwise have had to learn had you been in alignment, okay? The Philistines equal limits. They represent limiting forces, fear, doubt, negative conditioning, external pressures, all of that noise that keeps you disconnected from yourself. All of the things that keep you from doing what you truly want to do. All of the things that keep you from honoring yourself, from doing that which honors you. All of the people, all of the things that's going to make you people please and self-deny and self-denigrate. That's what the Philistines represent, okay? The Philistines represent the internal and external forces that oppose spiritual growth. The key principle here is the greatest battles are often internal. The only battle is internal. Because no matter what's going on the outside, internally, you have to decide. That's why it's so important. Man, it's so important. It's so important to know you. It's so important to be connected with you. It's so dangerous to be out here out of alignment and unable to hear yourself and not know yourself. Because when I tell you, people will take advantage of you. People will take advantage of what you don't know. People will take advantage of your love. People will take advantage of your heart. People will take advantage of your willingness to overlook, your willingness to assist. People will take advantage of your grace. People will take advantage of your resourcefulness. My sister had to cut off a bunch of motherfuckers because I told her, I said, look around. I said, because she's on her path and now she's starting to see people and see her relationships for what they really were. My sister's very resourceful and she's very helpful. And motherfuckers take advantage of that all the time. I done had to curse out a lot of folks from playing on my sister or curse my sister out. Bitch, you don't see they playing in your face? Stop being so damn nice, so accommodating. But she cut off a lot of people because she realized they were using me because I was resourceful. Yay. And people be like, oh, you so sweet, you so nice. Damn that. Okay? So all of you niceys out there, all of y'all little asses that don't know how to say no, rein that shit in. Okay? All of y'all say, I don't know, you know, it's just my heart so big. I don't give a damn. That's over with, because there is karma to be paid for not honoring yourself in that area. A bleeding heart is not a blessing. You understand me? And there's no nobility in being a doormat. There's no nobility. You don't get an extra. See, that's that religious shit that tell you that suffering is comparable to greatness and to a prize. No, it's not. There is no honor in your suffering. The honor is in honoring yourself. And don't you forget that. I don't know who I'm fussing at, but you know who I'm fussing. You know why I'm fussing. You needed to hear. Okay? Samson's blindness represents the loss of spiritual vision. Saddest part. What happens after his capture? Samson's eyes are removed. We told you that. I told you that they gouged his eyes out. Metaphysical meaning, blindness symbolizes loss of discernment, baby. When you can't hear, when you can't see, when you can't discern, that's a dangerous place to be in. And it only happens because you got too much noise around you. You have to get quiet. Don't ever put yourself in a position where your life is so much chaos and turmoil that you can't hear, you can't discern, you can't find yourself. Let me tell you something. I'm a Star Trek girl. I told y'all this before. Star Trek be preaching. Do you understand me? And I mean it. I'm talking about the one where they on Voyager, Captain Janeway with Tuvok and all them, baby, listen. And 7 of 9, baby, listen, Star Trek be preaching. If you're looking for life answers, life lessons, life story, watch Star Trek. Okay? The knowledge is out there. The wisdom is out there. But they had an episode the other day that I was listening, because that's how I wind down. I watch Star Trek at night, and then I go to sleep. All right? But they had an episode with one of the crew members, 7 of 9. She was experiencing, for what would be, for all intents and purposes, what would be schizophrenia for us. And for those of us not out there in the alpha quadrant. Okay? Tuvok is a Vulcan. He is a telepath. Okay? He does something called a mind meld, where he merges his mind with your mind, and he helps to, helps get you to focus, to get you to see clear, to suppress the chaos, the emotion, so that you can hear, you can move, you can strategize, right? So he said they was doing everything that they could to save 7 of 9, okay? But her brain was being fried. He said, let me do a mind meld. He said her neural pattern, her true self, is immersed in chaos. He said, I'm going to attempt to find her, connect with her, and draw her to the surface. Baby, sometimes you done been immersed in so much chaos. Now we finna preach, okay? You done been immersed in so much chaos that your true self is just surrounded. And your higher self, you got, that's why meditating is important. That's why fasting is important, because that's how you draw your true self to the surface of the chaos. That's why you can't hear. That's why you can't strategize. That's why you say, I don't know what to do. I don't know what move to make, because you're immersed in chaos, babe. It's the noise. It's the voices of everybody, every fear. It's the voice of every doubt, every limitation, every negative thing that was ever put onto you by somebody else. That's the chaos that your true self is immersed in. That's why I made the community for Black women, because it shows you how to pull yourself out of that chaos. Okay? Spiritual confusion. That's why you got people all over the place. They don't know if they want to be a Christian. They don't know if they want to be a Muslim, if they want to be a Buddhist. They don't know. They looking. They just confused. They know, somebody tell me something, show me what to do. That's why you got spiritualists who go back into Christianity. You know what I'm saying? Because it in order to be out here, to really be out here on this spiritual walk, you got to be clear. You got to be clear. You got to be able to hear. You got to be able to see. You got to be able to feel. And that takes the ability to get still, to sit with yourself. And a lot of people can't sit with themselves. You don't know what it is. Baby, I tell people to do one of the things that when I do my consultations and all of that, one of the things that I prescribe is 15 minutes of intentional silence daily. I mean silence, no phone, no TV, no meditation sounds, no sound drum. I mean, no sound bowls, no nothing, just silence. Baby, when I tell you, you'd be surprised how many people are scared of silence. And I get it. It was something for me that I had to conquer. But you start off with 5 minutes a day and then take it up. So when I say 15 minutes a day, do 5 minutes here, 5 minutes there, one more before you go to sleep. But you need to learn how to get silent. Be still and know that I am. But you can't know that I am if you can't be still. Sit your ass down. Okay? Ego domination. Baby, and see, that was one of the things, and that's what I'm going to speak about, because once I finish this, then I'm going to upload my stitch. It was so many people in their ego yesterday when they got mad about my post about Minister Farrakhan. And I literally didn't even say anything. But because their egos perceived it as a threat. You have to understand, again, what is our ego? Our ego is what we use to identify with the world. It is what we use to build ourselves up. It's what we use to say this is who we are to the world. So when you get conflicting information or information that produces feelings of cognitive dissonance within that ego is going to respond to it as if it's a threat. To be fully in the ego is dangerous. Your ego is not who you are. That's why ego submission is necessary. I won't call it ego death, but ego submission is necessary. It is mandatory on this journey. Your ego, you must come to understand that your ego does not lead. Because when you are in a state of ego dominance, you are in a dangerous position. When the ego is too loud, you can't hear what you need to hear. You can't see what you need to see. You can't discern what you need to discern. That's a dangerous place to be in. And we all know somebody. If you want to think about ego domination, think about Ghost last season, right before they murked him. Think about how Ghost was going around in full ego, give him up because the business, he was telling people off left and right. That was ego. Okay? He couldn't hear what anybody else, he couldn't hear the fact that, listen, you might want to rethink this thing. Like, you see what I'm saying? When the ego perceives everybody that doesn't agree with it as a threat, as a hindrance. Okay? Separation from inner wisdom. To be cut off from your own inner wisdom, that's a terrifying place to be in. But as you get out here on this journey and you're doing things like listening to Sunday School for Heathens and doing your meditations and fasting and exercising and journaling and intentional silence and mantras and affirmations and grounding and things like that, you begin to align, you begin to clean up, and then the inner wisdom can come through. You see what I'm saying? Because you can't, if you're sitting in class and the chalkboard or the dry erase board is covered in information and the teacher never erases it, she's just constantly writing in little spaces, but the board is filled up. And it's just filled up with miscellaneous stuff. None of the stuff that you actually need. When it's time to do the material, to learn the lesson that you actually need to learn, there's no room on the board. You can't learn with a dirty board. You got to clean your board so the wisdom can come through. Okay? When we lose connection from higher truth, we lose spiritual vision before we lose external power. You give up your power because you have no vision. When you don't have vision, you don't know. When you don't have clarity, you don't have direction. When you don't have direction, you don't have power. Okay? You just when you don't have direction, when you're lost, you'll just be out here doing anything with your power, just slutting yourself out, giving your power away, in exchange for some type of dominance, some type of direction, some type of vision. Just you give your power away in exchange for somebody else to tell you a vision for your life. You give your power away for somebody else to give you direction for your life. That's what being in the patriarchy is. Telling you what to do with your power. Specifically women. Okay? The prison equals the consequences of misalignment. Listen. Baby, listen. It symbolizes limitation, spiritual stagnation, reflection, and inner transformation. Because listen, baby, when you in that prison of your own, the consequences of your own decisions, you ain't got nothing but time to sit and think. How the fuck did I get here? Or I can't believe I'm here. I can't believe I let this shit happen. I can't believe I did this. So it's a time to reflect. It is a time to ruminate over the decisions. You know what I'm saying? Strategize. But more than anything, the prison is a place of transformation. You understand it? People go in prison, raggedy ass. They come out with degrees, learned. Look how Malcolm X came out of prison. See what I'm saying? We all know, we done had them family members who came in, they come out and they on a whole nother path. Because what better way to transform than to be isolated? For some, when I hear people ending up in jail and ending up in prison and all of that, and they get these large amounts of time and things like that, my first thought is always, that's a hell of a soul contract. But your soul knew that it was going to take your ass being sat down and being isolated. That was the only way that it was going to get through to you. And, for some people, it's sickness. For some people, it's the loss of a loved one. Like, you never know what you have signed up before you got. You don't know what the contingency plans are. You don't know what it's going to take to thrust you into that transformation. That's why I say, baby, do it voluntarily. You going to do it voluntarily or involuntarily, okay? Metaphysical meaning, prison represents the period where the soul must confront its choices and rediscover its true identity, that dark night of the soul, baby. Key principle, periods of limitation often becomes opportunities for awakening, what I just said. His hair growing again symbolizes spiritual renewal, all right? Restoration. Repentance for the sin of missing the mark. Repentance is required for yourself, to yourself. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry that I abandoned us. Listen, baby, I had to have a long talk with Sheena. Yeah, man. That was part of me being out in St. Louis too, babes. We had to have a long talk, and then I had to have another long talk once I got out of that house. And I had to have a long talk with myself in the last maybe 10 days because a lot of things are coming up for me. I mean, baby, the shadows have been loud. When I tell you that full moon in Capricorn, that pink full moon in Capricorn, babe, did not come to play. She came through and knocked all that shit over. Okay? I have stuff coming to the surface. Babe, I've been crying for, 3 days. But I'm good, though. I feel lighter every time. You're never not, life is a cycle. You see what I'm saying? Energy is a cycle. You're always processing something. So don't ever think that you're going to get to a point where you're not feeling. It's going to always be that. That's the human condition. Remember, life has its ups and downs, its ebbs and flows. You inhabit the space in between. That's where your constant should be. Restoration, repentance, healing, and then reconnection. And I love this because, again, that's what the community does. It takes you from the awakening station where you realize that something's off, there's got to be more, to the descent where you dive into shadow work. That is our heaviest station. It is rough, but we make it out. Sometimes we got to pull each other out, and it's always funny when the newbies come through and they hit the descent. We always know, you know what I'm saying? So the sisters that's been in there, they can go, they get to pulling. Come on up out of there. We know it's heavy. That's one of the things that I pride myself on with that. We know how to pull a sister through over there. You know what I'm saying? But you got to go. Remember, the only way out is through. Those of you who are avoiding this journey, those of you who are avoiding the hard things, the hard conversations, for those of you who are avoiding sitting down with yourself, you're going to have to sit with yourself, babes. There is no way around it. Ain't no way around it. So you could do it now, you could do it later. But you gonna do it. Like Furious Styles told Trey, oh yeah, you gonna learn. Okay. Metaphysical meaning, the regrowth of Samson's hair symbolizes the return of spiritual awareness. The divine has never abandoned him. He must simply realign himself. Key principle is spiritual power can be restored through sincere transformation. Listen, babe, you are never not God. You hear me? You are never not able to create a new reality. You are never not able to tap in with your higher self. It's always there. You are always one decision away. That's it. It's one yes. Yes, today is the day I'm back to me. It's one, that's all its intention is everything. The moment you shift and say, I'm choosing me, I'm coming into the light. The moment, I'm telling you, the entire trajectory of your life shifts. It's the pivot. That's why it's so important. You cannot be afraid to pivot. Trust the pivot. Okay? Samson's final prayer, right before he tore that shit down, represents release. Okay? And the realization of the consequences is cool. The acceptance of the consequences is cool. I know how I got here. It's all good. I'm cool. I see what happened. I could take this. It represents understanding how to take an L. And then, I didn't get into the Drake and the Kendrick beef because I do think both of them are incredibly talented, in their own lanes. I don't think that we can judge one by the other. They're in two completely different leagues, right? So to me, the beef never made sense because it was apples and oranges. Kendrick was always gonna come out on top on that. Okay, but what I loved about Drake's return, even with the Iceman album and all that, Drake he displayed how to take a L. Keep going. It is what it is. Like I listened to a lot of the lyrics. He's addressing it like it's cool. I see y'all. Listen. That's why I love What Did I Miss? Because see, you gonna get to that point too in the journey, especially after the betrayals, after the dark night of the souls and all of that. After that stripping away, you gonna turn around and you're gonna be looking at you like, damn, y'all always felt like this? Like last time I looked at my right, you niggas was standing beside me. That's a real thing. Looking at people in your life and being like, damn, I thought we was cool, but it's all good. Stay over there, but it's all good. I'm gonna go on to my thing. You got to learn how to lose. That's one thing I had to teach my son. My son is a football player. Both of my boys are football players. My oldest son was like, fuck that. I ain't finna keep getting banged up for fun. Nah, I'm good. But I had to teach my youngest son because he's so competitive. He hates to lose. And I get it because I'm like that. But more than anything, the last 5 years of my life taught me how to lose. I needed to learn how to lose. Lose that shit. Because it's going to make you better. And so that's what I told him because my son is a beast at football. He's going somewhere. I told him, I said, you'll maximize your potential once you learn how to lose. You got to learn the same way you can take that W, that dub, take that L, shake that shit off and keep going. I'm so grateful that I learned how to lose. I'm so grateful that I learned how to take a loss. And it was some of the biggest losses ever. I could, They could have been a little smaller. I don't know what the fuck that soul contract looked like, but I know I wrote it. I'm telling you, the longer I live, I know I did this shit because only me, okay? But learn how to take that L. Learn how to cut your losses. Don't resist the release. Let it go. You gotta lose. Fantasia said it. Sometimes you got to lose to win again. And after that, I ain't want to hear shit else. Everything Fantasia has said since then just been stupid shit. But anyway, okay. Do what Fantasia said. Lose to win. Okay. The final prayer symbolizes dependence on self-actualization, letting go of the ego. The metaphysical meaning, Samson finally understands that his true strength was always about being in alignment. Samson's true strength was about being in alignment with God. Your true strength is about being in alignment with God. Self, God, body, energy, being in alignment with self, walking in your power and maintaining it, never compromising your power, never playing with your power. Samson shouldn't have never been playing with his power like that. He was playing with that bitch. Why? That bitch should have been done. She should have, the first time somebody attempts to make you play with your power, you get them out the fucking way. I'm telling you what I know, y'all. You don't know how expensive it's going to be. You feel like somebody playing with you and your power, get them away from you. If you feel like you're playing with yourself and your power, fix that shit. Because it's going to cost you more than you actually think. Listen, you ever been in a store shopping and thinking you done calculated that shit right, and then you get to the register and that price is not what you expected? That's how life will do you on this journey. You don't know how much it's going to cost you, okay? But you got to surrender to that. Surrender to the loss that you took. Surrender to the realization of the consequences, because once you surrender, then you can release. And remember, your suffering is in your resistance to release. The key principle is the highest power flows through alignment. It's a conduit. It's a channel. The temple collapse represents the destruction of the ego, collapse of the false identity, that mask being cracked, ripped, torn apart, and discarded. The end of the illusion that of whatever it was that you're coming from, the illusion of control, the illusion of being okay, the illusion, the arrogance. Okay? Liberation and transformation. Metaphysical meaning, the destruction of the temple represents the dismantling of the ego's strongholds. The old self dies so that the true self can emerge. Key principle, transformation often requires the collapse of false foundations. It's all got to go, babes. It's all got to go. It's got to fall. It's the tower. It's the tower. Okay? Unified lesson here is the greatest danger is not losing our gifts. It is forgetting those gifts. It is forgetting the source of those gifts. It is forgetting the source of you. It is forgetting the the power of you, the alignment of you. When we rely on external things, when we rely on external validation, external guidance, instead of internal guidance, instead of intuition, logic, and knowledge of self, we become vulnerable and we put ourselves in danger. But when we return to alignment, our strength is renewed. Don't ever forget that. Always keep your power. Stay in alignment. Stay in control. Take care of you. Happy Sunday, Heathens. Have a good one.